Do you see yourself primarily as an intellectual entity or more as a physical entity? Asking yourself this question opens your personal Pandora's box, but I'd like to delve into the Pandora's box of humanity. Personally, I discovered powerful chemical influences in my life, from everyday emotional entanglements and the politics of group identity to internal conflicts between spiritual and animalistic tendencies. I sought scientific and physical explanations for these thoughts, uncovering unsettling truths about human nature. Some time ago, I wrote a blog titled Inferiority Complex: The Dirty Truth of Humanity. It aimed to explore why our politics of group identity wield such power, often reducing even the most intellectual individuals to mere puppets. Scientific evidence suggests that our behavior is influenced by chemicals, highlighting how our animalistic side can dominate our spiritual side. Regardless of religious beliefs, some struggle to reconcile these internal conflicts. I found this quote via Google, which I'll share. Researchers measured testosterone levels during the 1994 World Cup final, Brazil versus Italy. Saliva samples were taken from fans before and after the game. Brazil won on penalties in an otherwise dull final. The study found a significant increase in testosterone levels among Brazilian fans, while Italian fans showed a decrease. This illustrates how we experience a vicarious endocrinological response. As social creatures, our brains can interpret our favorite sports teams as part of our in-group, despite most fans never meeting the players they idolize. End quote. As humans, we embody a unique blend of spirit, physicality, and mortality. Controlling our animalistic desires improves our humanity, but the perception of this control varies among those we associate with. Whether right or wrong, your true identity remains human, not exclusively spiritual or animal. Attempting to prioritize one over the other only offers a partial understanding, particularly for mortals. Things get complicated when internal chemical influences come into play. Understanding yourself requires perspective as a mortal being, acknowledging the limited time available. The best approach involves questioning everything you do. Firstly, ask yourself, do you lean more toward your animalistic or spiritual side? If your responses are influenced by uncontrollable chemical changes, nurturing your spiritual side is essential for internal balance. Remember, it's not an either-or scenario. Our humanity derives from our animalistic nature. Regardless of belief in God, we enter this life as humans, not purely spiritual or animalistic. Given that you and those around you may be influenced by group identities, their opinions can be prejudiced and discriminatory against dissenters. Your life is your personal endeavor, with responsibility resting squarely on your shoulders. Understanding life's realities, mortality, personal happiness, contentment, guilt, and regret, requires acknowledging your autonomy and free will. If you act out of honor, ego, or pride, it's crucial to trace these motivations to their roots. While these traits have their place, individuals bear personal responsibility for their actions. Actions driven by ego, pride, or honor often stem from group identities, shaped by the politics of belonging. Participating in mob mentality and committing spiritual crimes demands constant vigilance against succumbing to chemical influences and subsequent regrets. Following chemical impulses might seem natural for animals, but as spiritual beings, we hold ourselves to higher standards. Spiritual discontent can profoundly affect mortal life, and addressing inner turmoil becomes a personal journey. Neither community nor God can absolve you of internal conflicts. Our autonomy and free will compel us to make thoughtful decisions. Understanding personal responsibility early on helps prevent accumulating guilt and regrets in service to group identities. If you don't experience guilt or regret over group affiliations, chemical influences likely overshadow your spiritual side, possibly due to lifelong indoctrination hindering self-understanding. Being fully human entails assuming personal responsibility. Life isn't solely about dependency on parents or community, it demands self-reliance and informed decision-making. Amidst competing internal forces, how do we navigate mortal existence? If you happen to kill someone, you have also extinguished a part of God or the devil. Whether you perceive them as a bad person or an innocent being, each life taken diminishes a part of the divine. Just as cells cannot comprehend the body they constitute, humans struggle to understand God, making God and the devil elusive realities. Killing over these unknowns stems from ignorance or unawareness of the chemical influences shaping us. Understanding these chemicals and the political dynamics of group affiliation requires spiritual growth. Throughout history, humanity's penchant for violence has normalized such acts under various justifications. Political interests perpetuate group dynamics, yet individual evolution is essential to recognize personal responsibility and spiritual awareness. Suppressing our spiritual sides does not erase them. Denying this facet for group loyalty may backfire, as you transcend mere cellular limits. You embody the essence of the body or God within yourself, with autonomy over your actions and the attendant responsibilities. Genetically wired for autonomy, aligning with humanity as a whole makes more sense than identifying solely with smaller groups. Choosing your identity, be it arm or leg, defines your allegiance to humanity. Amidst good and bad apples, there exists a decent and spiritual core, often buried under education, circumstances, or animalistic instincts. Never underestimate the allure of group politics deeply rooted in our chemical makeup. It has historically overridden intellectual pursuits, hindering humanity's elusive quest for peace. Integrating intellect with physicality unveils the human psyche, fostering both internal and external peace. As we continue to explore human potential and identity, we confront the unknown beyond our established identities. The saying by Kabir resonates: the drop in the ocean, everybody knows; the ocean in the drop, a rare one does. Individually, we potentially embody oceans within drops. Where does our evolving potential lead us? Today, face-to-face communication spans the cosmos, forecasting storms to save lives, a far cry from sacrificing humans in antiquity. Blood transfusions, artificial insemination, and stem cell research coexist with space stations, global transport, and instant communication. Education is now virtual, yet cybercrime remains unchecked. These advancements stem from human imagination. Adapting to change is imperative. Respecting diverse forms of knowledge, including spirituality, is vital. Disparaging spiritual insights while embracing scientific rigor, or vice versa, disrupts balance. Good doctors comprehend that negative imaginings induce stress, influencing disease. Our evolving understanding remains stunted by political and chemical biases, marring educational systems. Historical conflicts, driven by group politics, obstruct progress despite advocating equal rights and combating prejudice. COVID-19 exposes this dichotomy. Some seek divine intervention, while others trust in science to resolve crises. Scientists, with antibiotics, have doubled human life expectancy, yet scientific contributions face skepticism. Our penchant for blaming God or politicians obscures the messages conveyed. Despite persistent calls for unity, chemical-induced group affiliations impede our evolution. From infectious diseases like corona, Zika, Ebola, and AIDS to technological advances such as the Internet, space stations, cybercrimes, and surgeries, to the emergence of mixed-race generations and the pursuit of equal human rights, these are noteworthy aspects of our times. Yet, our urgent need to combat global warming stands atop them all. This imperative won't dissipate. With only one Earth, we must collectively care for it not just as a group but as one humanity. However, people are often blinded not only by political motives but also by chemical impulses, making it challenging for individuals to resist internal pressures. Hence, I refer to this as the chemical dependencies of humanity. Now, consider it from an individual perspective. Do you ever wonder why you feel inclined to harbor prejudice and discrimination against those different from your own group? It's crucial to understand these impulses independently, as your group may not impart this spiritual insight. As spiritual beings, we must neutralize our potent, compelling chemical urges to achieve inner balance and true humanity. Our desires are frequently driven by our animalistic nature, particularly in confronting the unknown. While our instinctual side guides our actions for self-preservation, our spiritual side compels us to seek fulfillment within ourselves. Understanding and achieving this balance is essential wisdom for human existence, particularly given our mortal nature. Whether contemplating life, life after death, the existence of God, chemical influences, or politics, our personal journey is solely our responsibility. We must not only be accountable for our actions but also for our own happiness and fulfillment. If concerns about the afterlife hold greater sway, scrutinize your political and chemical influences before deciding, for God relies on our physicality to enact the good necessary for humanity. Consider the advancements benefiting humanity, from prolonging average lifespans to enhancing survival amidst natural disasters. Reflect on your personal stance. How do you value yourself? Are you inherently flawed, forever needing penance for imagined sins? Engage in self-inquiry not only about political and chemical influences but also about everything, including your affiliations and even beliefs about God. Without such introspection, humanity remains stagnant. Progress has always stemmed from questioning individuals like yourself. Reflect on how long it will take for you to realize that you are an individual human, not merely an extension of emotionally charged ideologies rooted in chemicals and politics. Remember, your spiritual essence must also be strong to complete your humanity. With thousands of years of civilization behind us, we should evolve beyond animalistic behaviors.